Good morning from Joshua Tree National Park. Just arrived here this morning and we're at our first stop, Keys View. This is a great way to see the whole Coachella Valley from the air. It is super windy up here, especially today. There's a wind advisory and we were nearly blowing off the side of the mountain. When you come here, definitely bring a warm jacket in case it is windy to keep you warm. And as you drive to Keys View, you'll also get to drive through a good portion of the park, see some Joshua trees, get a feel of the layout of the park so that you can have a very organized and great rest of your trip here at the national park. We are here in February, which is a great time to come to the desert because it's not blazing, dangerous heat. It's about 55 degrees right now, which is great weather, except when it's windy, then it's a little chilly. But otherwise, February is a great time to come. It's also really empty here. Like, it's not very busy at all. We've experienced that in Death Valley and now here in Joshua Tree. It is not busy at all, which is obviously super nice. We haven't had an issue finding any parking spots at any of the stops, which can happen and often does happen at the national parks. So February overall, as of right now, is a great time to come, minus the wind. After Keys View, we headed right to Cap Rock and Cap Rock Trail, which is right next to the Keys View Road. So we just decided to impromptu stop here, and it's a really great little walking trail. Super accessible, very flat and well-maintained trail. It's not paved, but I would say it's very accessible because it's a very well-maintained trail. You get to walk through the Joshua trees, walk through these bubbly type rocks that they have here. The rocks here are just so cool and unique. They're just like bubbly and so smooth, and you just see them and you want to go climb on them. They're just really cool. You can stop here as long as or as short as you want. It's nice little quick stops in addition to your Joshua Tree road trip. We just stopped here for about 5 minutes and it was just nice to kind of hop out of the car and look around.
We are at the Hall of Horrors, and it's just basically a big collection of rocks that boulders you can kind of climb on. A lot of them are 15 feet tall.
Yeah.
So, but they're easy to climb. There's a lot of hold points, stuff like that. Indigo was kind of jealous because she had the wrong shoes on.
Yeah, I was. They really looked fun to climb on.
I was climbing up them quite a bit. It was really fun to climb on these rocks, but make sure you bring shoes with good traction.
And you'll want to climb.
Yes, for sure.
Our next stops are Skull Rock and the Skull Rock Trail. Skull Rock is essentially exactly what it sounds like. It is a rock shaped like a skull, and it's super easy to see. It's literally a pit stop on the side of the road. You just park on the side of the road and walk up to the rock. Skull Trail is so fun to climb. It is such an easy rock climbing experience, and really I think anyone in good physical condition could do it. It's just really fun to explore the rocks at leisure. It's really cool to see and a lot of fun. Fun fact, when I was younger, like in high school, I had like an irrational fear of boulder scrambling and rock climbing, and then one day it dawned on me that I was afraid of it because of a scene in the Little Bear movie where Little Bear's friend gets his foot stuck between a big tree trunk and a rock, and a cougar is trying to attack them. Once that dawned on me, I wasn't afraid anymore, and now I just get to enjoy the boulder scrambling. Oh gosh, Kenny! Just kidding, haha.
Good.
We're back at our campsite in Joshua Tree, and this campsite's so nice. It is free BLM land, which means it's public land. It's free, primitive campsites. There are no hookups. It's very primitive, no toilets, but it is right next to the park boundary. I am literally staring at the park boundary right now. It is so close to the park, which will be perfect because we are hitting sunrise in the park tomorrow. Now we're just gonna make dinner, enjoy dinner, and head to bed. We woke up and came straight into the park to Cholla Cactus Gardens, or Cholla Cactus Gardens. I don't exactly know how to pronounce it, so please let me know if you know. Because these cacti glow in the sunrise and the sunset, and I was a little bit skeptical, like, do they actually glow? But they actually kind of do glow, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They're bright.
If you want to see these cacti glow, you'll have to come at sunrise or sunset though, because there is a very short span in the day where it's glowing. As soon as that sun is risen or set, they kind of stop glowing. So we think we had about 30 minutes of glow. So this is definitely a really great sunrise spot in Joshua Tree National Park. Our campsite, the BLM property right outside the park boundary, was only about 30-minute drive to here. So it was a great campsite to get here for sunrise. Now we're gonna head outside the park and head to a special location called Salvation Mountain, about an hour and a half away from here, and I'm really excited for that. We just got to Salvation Mountain, and I'm not gonna lie, social media makes this place look a heck of a lot better than it actually is, and that's coming from someone who is a Christian, was really excited to come here, thought it was gonna be like a cool ministry thing. No. It's like, first of all, it is a lot smaller in person than social media makes it look. It is still bright and colorful, but it is a lot smaller than social media makes it look. Social media makes it look like a big, like, mountain that you're like hiking a little bit through. We literally spent 5 minutes walking around it, if that. Second of all, and probably the most important, is it's in the middle of nowhere, and not only is it in the middle of nowhere, but it is surrounded by squatters and like homeless hermit campers, and while I don't necessarily feel unsafe, it is very weird. Like, I would not want to be here at dark, that's for sure. We're here in the morning, so I don't feel unsafe, but like, it's like all of the hermits in the United States came together and made a town, is what it's like. So it's just like very odd. And it was an hour and 15-minute drive from the south part of Joshua Tree, the southern boundary of Joshua Tree. So if you're in the northern part, it's gonna be another hour drive. It was an hour and a half from the south boundary of Joshua Tree. It is not worth the drive. I am not gonna lie to you. Kenny has had just about enough of me here. We got there, we literally step in, and Kenny's like, okay, let's get the picture and leave.
Yep, a little bit of a drive.
It was a lot of bit of a drive.
If it was a 15-minute drive, it would have been quite a drive.
If you want to come and get the Instagram photo, props to you. Like, I hear ya. I am one of those people. That's why we're here. But honestly, even then, it looks much cooler online. I'm just gonna be honest. My motto is that we learn the hard way so that you don't have to. So save yourself the 3-hour drive. Save yourself the weird sketchy town that we're in, and I'd say just skip it. Stay in Joshua Tree. Again, if you want to come get the shot, I respect that too. How do we even say this?
We're here.
We're alive. So we made it to Salvation Mountain, as you saw in the video, but we did not make it to our next stop, which was going to be back at Joshua Tree to do the Hidden Valley hike at sunrise, and also the Rock Arch Trail, I believe it was called. Because we got back to our campsite, we were camping at a primitive campsite, BLM land, that seemed very safe. It was the Joshua Tree southern BLM property, so it was literally on the border of Joshua Tree National Park. And I mean, as you saw in the video, like, we were right next to the border, so it felt very safe. And there were many other campers there, especially we were there on a Saturday night, so it was packed. And at about 2:20 in the morning, we got a knock on our car door, which obviously is frightening always. And I look over and I swore it was a park ranger. Made sure that I could see a badge, thought I saw a badge. Turns out it wasn't. Kenny opened his car door to talk to him because we thought it was a park ranger, and
Just shined a flashlight on him, and then he asked if he could come like closer to talk.
Yeah.
And you could
He
tell he
seemed
was
really shaken up.
shook up. So it was like, I'm like,
It
I
was
could tell his
weird.
hands were out of the pockets. I wasn't too worried.
Yeah, so he came over to the door, and at this point we knew it was a park ranger, right? Because the park ranger, I mean, he was shaken up.
Yeah.
He comes over to the door, door's already open, and he shows us his hand, and it's completely burned. Like, he had a severe burn on his
blistered.
hand.
Yeah.
Blistered, and he was
blood
like,
on his face,
look at my hand. And he kept saying these really weird things like, my friends were trying to teach me a lesson, and I don't know what's going on, and I don't know where I am. And he seemed genuine, to be honest. Like, he seemed like he was out of it. I don't know if he
didn't smell of alcohol.
He didn't smell of alcohol, but
Doesn't
he
need to have some, but
was either panicking or drugged or something. There was something wrong. So he kept showing us his hands, his burnt hands, was asking for help, but in a really weird way. Like a normal person, if they were injured and didn't have self-service or couldn't access medical help, like they would ask for a phone to make a phone call. He never asked for a phone call. Instead, he asked us to follow him to San Cerrito, California, which we don't even know where that is. He kept saying like, can you just follow me? Like, we just need to make sure I'm okay. And of course we were like, absolutely not. Like, we're not gonna follow you.
And it kind of came to protecting ourselves.
Yeah, it was really weird. He also said like, I'm scared, please help. He just kept saying all these things were like major red flags. We ended up giving him a lantern because we just wanted him to go, right? So we gave him a light source and said like, this is all we can do for you. Sorry, we're not gonna help you, and shut the door. And then we were both like sitting there in shock, wide awake at 2:30 in the morning.
For a second, yeah.
Waiting for him to leave, which he did. Then we were like, okay, we cannot stay here. Like, we need to leave because that was, I mean, we're 98% sure that that was a trafficking incident, or could have been. And as we were leaving, we saw, there were many other campers there. We saw a couple other cars with their headlights on. We saw a big camper and a big truck with their hazards on to warn other campers. Basically, it was a really scary situation. So we got up at 2:30 in the morning and drove to our next campsite, 4.5 hours away at Valley of Fire State Park near Las Vegas, which is where we are now. We're at our campsite. All that to say, we didn't get to do everything that we planned to in Joshua Tree. Road trips sometimes don't go as planned. Most of the time, actually, there's some sort of bump in the road. And also, of course, to just be really safe. We thought we were in a very safe area. This could have happened at any campsite. Probably could have happened in the national park for all we know. Be smart. Do not open any car doors. If you're car camping, if you're camping at all, if you're in a camper, if you're in a tent, do not engage with people who are not park rangers, especially at night. If it's a police officer, make sure you see a badge before you open the door. If it's a park ranger, make sure you see a badge before you open the door. Even then, hopefully that they would tell you that they're the police or, park ranger before they even, while they're knocking. We should not have opened the door. We know that in hindsight, even though we thought he was a park ranger. Just be very, very safe. And if you're looking for more Joshua Tree recommendations, we were going to do Hidden Valley for sunrise and the Hidden Valley Trail and hike to the Rock Arch. That did not happen. Yeah, we're just glad to be safe and here.
Like I said, we're here.
We're here. That's all we can be thankful for. I guess we'll end this Joshua Tree video here. I will make sure to link the campground down below so that you can make a very informed decision about whether or not you stay there. I would not recommend you stay there. Could have been a one-off incident. We stayed there the 2 nights in a row, and the first night we were fine. I honestly cannot recommend staying at that campsite after what happened last night. So yeah, I'll let you know the location of that in the description. And other than that, hopefully we will see you in a much better circumstances in next week's video. Ciao.